Hello, my name is Victorio Anchelen Benitez. Today I going to talk about are genetic disorders inherit. Definition. A genetic disorder is a disease caused in whole or in part by a change in the DNA sequence away from the normal sequence. Genetic disorders can be caused by a mutation in a one gene, by mutations in multiple genes, by combinations of gene mutations and environmental factors, or by damage to chromosomes. Some diseases are caused by mutations that are inherited from the parents and are present in an individual at birth. Other diseases are caused by acquired mutations in a gene or group of genes that occur during a person's life. Such mutations are not inherited from a parent, but occur either randomly or due to some environmental exposure.
A genetic disorder is a genetic problem caused by one or more abnormalities in the genome, especially a condition that is present from birth, congenital. Most genetic disorders are quite rare and affect one person in every several thousands or millions. Genetic disorders may be hereditary, passed down from the parents' genes. In other genetic disorders, defects may be caused by new mutations or changes to the DNA. In such cases, the defect will only be passed down if it occurs in the germline. The same disease, such as some forms of cancer, may be caused by an inherited genetic condition in some people, by new mutations in other people, and mainly by environmental causes in other people. Whether, when and to what extent a person with a genetic defect or abnormality will actually suffer from the disease is almost always affected by the environmental factors and events in the person's development. Some types of recessive gene disorders confer an advantage in certain environments when only one copy of the gene is present.
Okay, applications in physical therapy. Genetic disorders occur when a protein is altered or is produced in insufficient quantities. Inheritage can occur in three ways that are autosomal dominant inheritage occur when a child receives a normal gene from one parent and a defective gene from the other parent. Autosomal recessive inheritage means that both parents must carry and pass on the faulty gene. The parents each have one defective gene but are not affected by the disorders. X-linked or sex-linked recessive inheritage occurs when a mother carries the affected gene on one of her two X chromosomes and passes it to her son. It should also be taken into account that there are genetic disorders that are acquired due to people's lifestyle.
Autosomal recessive disease occurs when both parents contribute a mutated version of the gene. This means neither copy in the child functions properly. The parents are carriers and have one normal and one mutated copy of the gene. The other copy of their gene is normal. Since carriers of autosomal recessive conditions have a normal copy of the gene, they typically do not show any evidence of the disease. For a couple who are both carriers for the same disease gene, they have a 25% chance of having a healthy child, a 50% chance of having a child who is healthy, but also a carrier, and a 25% of having a child with the disease or condition. In X-linked recessive conditions, the mutation that causes the condition is present on the X chromosome. Males have only one copy of the X chromosome and one copy of the Y chromosome. Females have two copies of the X chromosome and no copy of the Y chromosome.
Pros and cons. Pros. Physical therapy helps people of all ages to relieve pain, health, and rehabilitate. Most medical and surgical conditions and good anamnesis and evaluations by the physiotherapist is important to take the treatment plan from the base. Cons. In many cases, physiotherapy only helps to keep the patient in the state in which they are, without improvement on the part of the patient, and this will depend on how serious their disease is.
Hi, my name is Norman McGowan. I'm a physical therapist working at Mercy Health. Physical therapy is mostly not only exercise that people know about, but it's also some manual therapy kind of different skills we can use, like a joint mobilization and kind of deep tissue massaging. Or feedback is really important in healthcare profession, like how they feel with each treatment. Otherwise, of course, we are billing to insurance, right? So it's not kind of honesty to just continue therapy without making any progress. Everything is not just treatment skills, it's also important that they need to modify their activities at home, they need to change their daily activities in certain ways that they don't aggravate their symptoms. So for that all reason, they need to believe in us. So I try to gain their confidence and trust. That's a good word. So, and then that's how I start my plan of care.
Issue applied in Ecuador. Genetic disorders generally don't have a definitive treatment. The statistic of the Ecuador regarding this type of disease estimates and approximate that 1 million Ecuadorians would be affected with some genetic disorders like smoke.
Smoking in Ecuador is more common among men and younger people. More than half of Ecuadorian smokers desire to quit. The government of Ecuador plans to reduce second-hand smoke in public spaces by 2012. The tobacco industry in Ecuador includes the major players of Tabacalera Andina and British American Tobacco Limited. Smoking is expected to decrease as the government enacts laws and the public becomes more aware of the dangers of smoking. Smoking is common in bars and dance clubs, but non-smoking signs in restaurants in Quito are generally respected. In 2006, Ecuador adopted the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, emphasizing promoting smoke-free environments, reforms on tobacco promotion and marketing, product packaging and labeling, and clear plans to enact laws to promote tobacco cessation. In 2011, the Ecuadorian parliament adopted the Tobacco Control and Regulation Bill to enforce strict regulations on the promotion and marketing of tobacco products. It also included a ban on smoking in enclosed public spaces, workplaces, sporting events, health facilities, educational establishments, and public transportation. Sales from vending machines or sales to minors were also banned. Pictorial warnings on the health consequences of tobacco use are required to cover at least 60% of product packaging. Later in the year, the government raised its taxation on tobacco, becoming the nation with the highest rate in Latin America.
Conclusion: physiotherapy is an important part of the treatment of a patient with a genetic disorder. Since the physiotherapy must be trained to understand the patient's needs, preferences, and thus be able to improve the physical capacities of the patient, taking into account that all people are biopsychosocial beings. We are considered that many pathologies are considered genetic disorders.
So my name is Chingmin Chen. I am a orthopedic surgeon in Detroit Lakes Essentia Health. I got into it because the stuff we do is just pretty awesome. We got the best technology, the best toys, and I think our surgeries, from a functional standpoint, is just top notch. Patients are really thankful. They get back to doing the things they love, and it's good to provide that kind of service. Physical therapy for me in my practice is kind of like my right hand. And I use physical therapy for almost everything. And if it's not emergent or something urgent or traumatic, usually I send you to physical therapy, because the majority of us, no matter how much we're working out, we're still somewhat sedentary. We're doing desk jobs. And even if you're a construction worker, you're not doing things necessarily that your body wants you to do at an everyday basis. And physical therapy gets you back to kind of what your body should be doing. So really, physical therapy is everything, and it's as important, if not more important, than our surgeries. Physical therapy is great for the majority of things, but if any time there's something that's a structural problem, you broke your leg, you tore a tendon, those things exercise may not be enough for. Everyone knows their body, right? You know your own body much better than I know your body, obviously. And so there's some pains that we kind of live with every day, and then there's some pains that just aren't right. And I think if there's a voice in your head that's saying this is not right, you should come in and see us, because that changes the whole game, and it could really kind of change how well you will do down the road.